Close your eyes for a moment and picture this. You're standing in the middle of a brightly lit supermarket aisle. The air hums with a faint, synthetic sweetness. Rows upon rows of packages call to you. Crisps that crackle with engineered crunch. Cereals glowing with colors no berry in nature ever produced. Ready meals sealed in plastic that promise comfort in minutes. You reach for one, almost without thinking. It's convenient. It's familiar. It's everywhere. And yet, deep down, a quiet question stirs. What exactly am I putting into my body? Hello, friend. I'm glad you're here with me, listening. In this moment, together, we're stepping into a story that touches every part of our lives. Our plates, our health, our children's futures, even the very air we breathe. It's a story about ultra-processed food, or UPF, and how it has quietly, powerfully, taken over so much of what we eat. You might feel a flicker of recognition already, or perhaps a touch of unease. Both are welcome. Curiosity is the beginning of change. Let's start with the numbers, spoken gently but clearly. In the UK and the US, ultra-processed foods now make up around 50 to 60% or more of the average person's calories. For children, it's often even higher. And this pattern is spreading across the globe, reaching into cities and towns far beyond the wealthy West. More than half of what many of us consume every single day isn't really food in the traditional sense. It's something else. Something designed in factories, optimized in labs, and delivered with marketing that knows us better than we know ourselves. What do we mean by ultra-processed? The NOVA classification, developed by thoughtful researchers in Brazil, gives us a clear lens. Group 1. Unprocessed or minimally processed foods. Think fresh fruits pulled from a tree, vegetables dug from rich soil, whole grains, fish from clear waters, or a simple cut of meat. These are foods as nature, or gentle human hands, presents them. Group 4. Ultra-processed foods is the opposite. These are industrial formulations, built from cheap extracted substances, starches, sugars, vegetable oils, and proteins that have been fractionated, chemically modified, and recombined. Add in a symphony of additives, emulsifiers that create impossible smoothness, flavorings that mimic or exceed the real thing, colors, sweeteners, and preservatives that extend shelf life far beyond what any home cook could achieve. The result? Products that look like food, taste intensely like food, but go far beyond normal cooking. They are engineered creations. Contrast that with a simple, vivid memory. Imagine biting into a ripe peach on a warm summer day. Juice runs down your chin. The sweetness blooms naturally, layered with tartness, and that unmistakable fuzzy skin. Your body knows this. It responds with satisfaction that lingers. Now, imagine the peach-flavored candy or yogurt. The hit is faster, louder, almost aggressive. But afterward, often a hollow craving returns, sharper than before. This is no accident. I invite you to walk with me through a personal door into this world. I, driven by deep personal curiosity, decided to run an experiment on myself. For a month, I ate a diet where about 80% of my calories came from ultra-processed foods, the kind most of us encounter daily. I tracked everything with scientific rigor: weight, blood markers, even brain scans. What happened? I gained weight. My cravings intensified. Meals that once brought pleasure left me restless and unsatisfied. Energy fluctuated. My relationship with food shifted in ways that surprised and unsettled me. It wasn't a dramatic collapse, but a subtle erosion, a quiet hijacking of my body's natural signals. You may recognize echoes of this in your own life. That afternoon slump at work, when the vending machine calls louder than any internal voice of wisdom. The family dinner where everyone scrolls while eating chicken nuggets shaped like dinosaurs. The late-night snack that soothes for a moment, but leaves you emptier. These aren't failures of willpower. They are the predictable outcomes of a system built to exploit our biology. Ultra-processed food isn't merely junk. That word is too casual, too forgiving. UPF is engineered for profit above all. Companies compete fiercely to create hyper-palatable products that light up reward centers in our brains like fireworks. They hack hunger hormones, stretch satiety signals, and encourage us to eat more, faster, and more often. The result? Overeating becomes almost inevitable. Weight gain follows. Inflammation simmers. Risks for heart disease, diabetes, certain cancers, and even impacts on mental health rise measurably. And it doesn't stop at our bodies. Think of the contrasts. On one side, real food, grown, harvested, prepared with care. It connects us to soil, seasons, farmers, and cultures passed through generations. It nourishes not just calories, but community, tradition, and a felt sense of enough. On the other, UPF, born in gleaming factories, wrapped in marketing that whispers fun, convenience, and happiness. It displaces those older food cultures, drives environmental strain through monocrops and packaging waste, and widens inequalities, hitting hardest those with least access to fresh options. Yet, we keep reaching for it. Why? Because it's everywhere. Because it's cheap in the short term. Because it tastes good in the moment. And because our modern lives, rushed mornings, stressful commutes, endless screens, make the easy choice feel like the only choice. You felt it, haven't you? The pull after a long day, when chopping vegetables feels like one task too many. Here's where the story turns hopeful and urgent. Awareness is the first light. When you begin to see UPF not as a neutral background, but as a clever, profit-driven invention, something shifts inside. You reclaim agency. Small experiments become possible. Notice the difference in how your body feels after a meal of roasted vegetables, herbs, and a simple protein versus a processed alternative. Pay attention to the energy that lasts versus the crash that follows. Try, just for a few days, swapping one habitual UPF item for something closer to its real food ancestor. A handful of nuts instead of a flavored bar. Fresh berries over sugary cereal. The change isn't about perfection or shame. It's about curiosity and kindness toward yourself. There is science here, rigorous studies, controlled trials, epidemiological data that illuminates the mechanisms. There are stories from kitchens, factories, boardrooms, and dinner tables around the world. And there is practical hope. We are not powerless. Our biology is resilient. Our choices, even incremental ones, ripple outward to our families, communities, and beyond. Chapter 1: The Invention of Ultra-Processed Food. Ultra-processed food didn't just appear on our shelves. It was invented, crafted, perfected in laboratories and factories with purpose. And that purpose? It changed everything about how we eat and how our bodies respond. Imagine for a second your ancestors thousands of years ago. A hunter returning with a fresh kill. The scent of wood smoke curling around a simple fire. Roots dug from the earth, berries bursting with sun-ripened juice. Food was alive, seasonal, intimately connected to the land and the labor of hands. Processing existed, yes, drying meats in the sun, fermenting vegetables in clay pots, grinding grains between stones. These were acts of preservation and transformation, born from necessity and wisdom. They honored the food. They extended its life without erasing its essence. Your body evolved alongside these rhythms. It learned to thrive on variety, on fiber that slowed digestion, on nutrients that arrived in their natural matrix. Satisfaction came, and then fullness. A beautiful, ancient balance. Now, contrast that with today. You stand in your kitchen after a long day. The fluorescent glow of the fridge hums. A box of brightly colored cereal promises breakfast in seconds. A frozen meal waits in its plastic tray, ready to be zapped. These aren't extensions of traditional cooking. They are something new, something engineered. How did we travel so far from those ancestral fires? The journey accelerated during the Industrial Revolution. Factories rose, cities swelled, people moved away from the land, working long hours in mills and mines. Feeding them became a challenge of scale. Canning emerged in the early 1800s, a marvel that sealed food in metal armor against spoilage. Milling refined grains on a massive level, creating white flour that lasted longer but lost much of its vitality. Sugar production boomed. These were steps toward convenience, born of real human needs. Yet, even then, a quiet shift began. Food started becoming a product, not just sustenance. The real explosion came later. Picture the world after World War II. Economies boomed. Soldiers returned home, craving stability and ease. Military innovations, freeze-drying, advanced dehydration, chemical preservatives, found their way into civilian life. Factories, once churning out rations, pivoted to peacetime abundance. Suddenly, the supermarket aisles filled with wonders, TV dinners on aluminum trays, instant mashed potatoes, sodas that fizzed with artificial joy. This was the dawn of convenience culture. Women entering the workforce in greater numbers. Families scattered by modern life. Time felt scarce. Industry stepped in with open arms, promising liberation from the stove. But something deeper was at play. Manufacturers discovered they could take the cheapest industrial commodities, such as corn, soy, wheat, vegetable oils, sugars extracted and refined, and transform them into something far more profitable. They didn't just process food. They reinvented it using novel industrial techniques. Extrusion, where dough is forced through dies under high heat and pressure to create those perfect, uniform shapes, puffs, crisps, loops. Hydrogenation to turn liquid oils into solid fats that extend shelf life. Emulsifiers to blend oil and water into impossibly creamy textures. One striking example: certain ice creams use stabilizers derived from bacterial fermentation, creating that silky mouthfeel that never quite melts like the real thing. Flavor chemists, working with hundreds of synthetic compounds, could mimic or surpass strawberry, cheese, even the char of a grill, without a single real ingredient nearby. Take breakfast cereals. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, they began as health foods. Think shredded wheat, or simple cornflakes. But competition intensified. Companies added sugars, colors, and flavorings. They puffed and coated and fortified. A bowl of modern sweetened cereal crackles under your spoon. The sweetness explodes instantly on your tongue, engineered for that perfect bliss point. The precise ratio of sugar, fat, and salt that keeps you reaching for another spoonful. No chewing fatigue, no natural slowdown, just endless, hyper-palatable invitation. Or consider snacks. That bag of potato chips you might grab during a stressful workday. Thin, golden, shatteringly crisp. Fried in oils, seasoned with powders born in labs. One study of eating behavior showed how these products encourage vanishing caloric density. That is, they disappear so quickly in your mouth that your brain doesn't register the calories fast enough. You eat more before fullness signals arrive. A far cry from cracking open a handful of actual nuts, with their satisfying resistance and slower satisfaction. Frozen meals, sodas, the ready-to-eat revolution. These weren't accidents. They were strategic. Cheap raw inputs, often costing pennies, transformed into products sold for dollars. Long shelf lives meant less waste, global distribution, massive scale. Marketing wrapped it all in nostalgia, fun, family bonding. Just add water. Ready in minutes. The profit margins? Extraordinary. Industry insiders knew. The more hyper-palatable, the more repeat purchases. Demand wasn't just met. It was created. Think of it like an arms race. Our evolutionary ancestors faced scarcity. Sweetness signaled rare ripe fruit. Fat meant valuable energy. Salt, a precious mineral. Our brains and bodies developed powerful reward pathways for these. Manufacturers, with sophisticated science, hijacked those ancient systems. They amplified signals far beyond what nature provides. Flavor upon flavor, layered in ways no peach or roast could match. The result? Cravings that feel personal, almost addictive. You reach for the package almost unconsciously after a tense meeting, during a lonely evening, or when the kids are melting down. It's not weakness. It's biology meeting brilliant, profit-driven engineering. I remember hearing stories from early food scientists, tales of boardrooms where panels tasted dozens of formulations, adjusting one variable at a time, until the perfect mouthfeel and crunch emerged. One executive reportedly said their goal was products you couldn't stop eating, not out of malice perhaps, but out of market necessity. In a competitive landscape, the winner creates the strongest pull. Your biology, honed over millennia for survival in fluctuating environments, meets a constant, optimized abundance. The mismatch is profound. And yet, here you are, listening, awakening. This isn't about shame. It's about seeing the invention for what it is, a remarkable human achievement in one sense, a profound detour in another. Our bodies still carry the wisdom of those ancestral fires. They remember the deep nourishment of a simple stew simmered with love, the grounding energy of whole grains, the vibrant lift from fresh greens. When you eat real food, the satisfaction often arrives with a gentle fullness. Energy sustains. Mood steadies. The contrasts become clear once you start noticing. Pause with me now for a small exercise of awareness. The next time you shop or open your pantry, look closely at an ingredient list. If it contains things you wouldn't find in a home kitchen, emulsifiers like carboxymethylcellulose, artificial flavors with mysterious numbers, or stabilizers unfamiliar even to a skilled cook. Notice it, not with judgment, but curiosity. Ask yourself, what was this designed to do? How does it make me feel afterward? This simple act of attention begins to loosen the grip. It reclaims a piece of your power. The invention of ultra-processed food reshaped our world. It fed growing populations. It freed time. It created convenience in a hurried age. But it also set the stage for deeper challenges, cravings that override natural signals, health patterns that trouble us, environments strained by monocrops and packaging. You were not meant to be controlled by these creations. Your body is resilient. Your choices, even small ones, matter. As we journey forward in this book, you'll discover not just how we arrived here, but pathways back toward food that truly serves, food that nourishes body, mind, and connection. Chapter 2: How UPF Hacks Our Biology and Brains. Here, we're about to explore something intimate: how the food we eat every day speaks directly to your cells, your gut, your brain. Not in the gentle language of nature, but in a loud, insistent code designed by clever minds in white coats and boardrooms. Ultra-processed food doesn't just fill your plate. It hacks your biology. It knows ancient pathways evolved over millennia and gently, profitably redirects them. You felt it, haven't you? That moment after a busy workday, when you reach for the bag of crisps or the chocolate bar. One bite leads to another. Your hand moves almost without your permission. The flavor explodes, sweet, salty, fatty, all at once. For a fleeting second, bliss. Then the quiet return of that restless hunger, even though your stomach feels full. Why does this happen? Why does willpower so often feel powerless? First, consider the texture. Real food demands work. A crisp apple requires chewing. Its fiber slows everything down. You taste layers, tart, sweet, earthy. Your jaw tires a little. Signals travel to your brain, saying, "We're eating." Ultra-processed food is different. It's often soft, pre-chewed by industrial processes. Think of that smooth, melty chocolate bar or the airy, dissolving crisp. It slides down fast. Your mouth barely registers the effort. Calories arrive in a rush before your body can mount a proper defense. It's like serving a feast to a guard who's still half asleep. By the time the alarm sounds, you've already overeaten. Now, layer on the hyper-reward. Food scientists speak of the bliss point, that perfect, engineered harmony of sugar, fat, and salt. Not too much of any one, but the exact combination that lights up your brain's reward centers like a fireworks display. In nature, these elements rarely appear together in such intensity. A ripe fruit offers sweetness with fiber. Nuts deliver fat with protein and crunch. But UPF? It concentrates them. It amplifies them. Dopamine surges. That feel-good chemical floods your system, creating a memory. This feels good. Reach for it again. It's not accidental. It's masterful design. Let me share a personal window into this. During my month-long experiment eating mostly ultra-processed foods, I noticed something striking. The meals were uniform in their appeal, consistently tasty, but never truly satisfying in that deep, lingering way. Cravings came faster, sharper. I ate, felt momentarily content, yet soon the pull returned. My body seemed caught between never fully hungry and never fully sated. A strange limbo. Energy waxed and waned. This wasn't just imagination. It was biology being quietly overridden. Science backs this with elegant rigor. In a landmark randomized controlled trial led by Dr. Kevin Hall and his team, 20 adults lived in a controlled environment for a month. For 2 weeks, they ate a diet of ultra-processed foods. For the other 2, they ate minimally processed foods. Both diets were matched for calories, sugar, fat, protein, fiber, you name it. Nutrients were balanced. The only real difference was the processing. What happened? On the ultra-processed diet, participants ate about 500 extra calories per day spontaneously. They gained weight. On the real food diet, they ate less and lost weight. No lectures on willpower, just the food doing what it was designed to do. Pause and let that sink in. Even when everything else was equal, the ultra-processed versions drove overeating. Why? It goes deeper than the mouth. Your hormones, the quiet messengers of hunger and fullness, get disrupted. Ghrelin, your hunger hormone, may not drop as effectively after UPF meals. Leptin, the satiety signal from your fat cells, finds its message drowned out or ignored. Insulin spikes more dramatically with rapid carbohydrate absorption, leading to crashes that send you searching for the next hit. These ancient systems, tuned for the unpredictable rhythms of real food, struggle with the precision strike of industrial creations. And then there's your gut, the vast, teeming universe inside you. Trillions of microbes that help regulate everything from mood to metabolism. Ultra-processed foods often lack the diverse fiber that feeds beneficial bacteria. Worse, many contain emulsifiers and additives that act like gentle detergents in your intestinal lining. Studies show these can shift your microbiome toward less diversity. Beneficial species decline. Inflammation simmers. The gut-brain axis, that beautiful two-way conversation, becomes distorted. Signals that should say enough grow faint. You feel the effects not just in digestion, but in cravings, energy, even how clearly you think. Picture your brain's reward pathways as an old, well-worn trail through the forest. For most of human history, that trail was walked occasionally when ripe fruit was found or a successful hunt completed. Ultra-processed food paves it into a superhighway. It floods the system with intense stimulation, much like substances we more readily call addictive. The parallels are striking. Tolerance builds, so you need more for the same hit. Withdrawal feels like restlessness or low mood. This isn't to say you're addicted in the clinical sense for everyone, but the mechanisms overlap enough to explain why stopping feels so hard. It's not you failing. It's a sophisticated hijacking meeting of vulnerable, beautiful biology. Think of the contrasts again. Eat a home-cooked meal of roasted vegetables, lentils, and herbs. The flavors unfold slowly. Chewing brings mindfulness. Afterward, a gentle fullness settles. Energy holds steady. You move on with your day. Now, contrast with the fast food alternative or packaged snack. The hit is immediate, intense, almost aggressive. Then the subtle unease, the pull toward more. Your body, wise as it is, gets confused by the speed and the novelty. You might wonder in a quiet moment, is it really this powerful? Yes, and that realization is empowering. It shifts the story from personal failing to systemic design. Willpower was never meant to battle an environment engineered against it. like trying to hold back a river with your hands. Once you see the current, you can step to higher ground. Here's a simple practice you can try today. The next time you eat, whether it's a snack or a meal, slow down for the first 3 bites. Really taste. Notice the texture, the evolving flavors, how your body responds. Ask gently, am I still enjoying this? Is my energy steady, or am I chasing something? This tiny pause of awareness begins to rebuild the natural dialogue between you and your food. Over time, it strengthens your internal signals. Real food starts tasting more alive. The engineered versions lose some of their luster. Common myths deserve gentle questioning here. It's just sugar, some say, but it's sugar delivered in a matrix that bypasses normal breaks. Calories in, calories out, others insist. True on a basic physics level, yet it ignores how UPF influences which calories you choose and how your body processes them. The Hall study showed that beautifully, same calories offered, different intake chosen, different outcomes. The body is not a simple calorimeter. It's a responsive, intelligent system shaped by what you feed it. Your body remembers. It remembers the nourishment of real food, the steady strength, the deep satisfaction. The path back isn't about deprivation. It's about reconnection, about choosing the foods that work with your biology rather than against it. You have more power than the packages on the shelf want you to believe. Chapter 3: The Health Crisis: What UPF is Doing to Our Bodies. Breathe with me for a moment. Place one hand gently on your heart. Feel its steady rhythm. This body of yours is a miracle of adaptation, resilience, and quiet intelligence. It has carried you through days of joy and nights of worry. Yet today, many of us sense something is off. A subtle heaviness, persistent fatigue, a growing list of diagnoses that seem to touch nearly everyone we know. Here, we're going to look directly at the role ultra-processed food plays in this unfolding story. You already know parts of this tale. The extra weight that lingers despite efforts. The blood sugar numbers that surprised you at a routine checkup. The low mood that settles in like fog on certain afternoons. These aren't isolated failures. They are signals from a body responding to an environment it never evolved to navigate daily. High intake of ultra-processed foods is now consistently linked to a staggering array of health challenges. Over 30 distinct adverse outcomes, according to comprehensive umbrella reviews of millions of participants. This is not hype. It is the accumulated weight of rigorous science. Let's begin with the most visible: obesity. In that landmark randomized trial by Dr. Kevin Hall, participants ate about 500 extra calories a day on the ultra-processed diet, even when meals were matched for nutrients. They gained weight, nearly a kilogram in 2 weeks, while losing on the real food version. Scale this across populations, and you see why obesity rates have climbed alongside UPF dominance. But it's not just about the scale. It's visceral fat, the deep kind that wraps organs and whispers inflammation into your system. Metabolic disease follows closely. Type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance. The evidence is highly suggestive and growing stronger. Higher UPF consumption raises risk by around 40% or more. Your pancreas works overtime on those rapid carbohydrate hits and emulsified fats. Blood sugar roller coasters become the norm. You feel it in the afternoon crash after a convenient lunch, the constant thirst, the slow healing cuts. Contrast this with traditional diets rich in whole foods, slow-releasing energy, natural fiber that buffers absorption, a body in better harmony. Heart disease tells an even more urgent story. Convincing evidence links higher UPF intake to a roughly 50% increased risk of cardiovascular death. The mechanisms layer upon one another. Chronic low-grade inflammation from disrupted gut barriers, unfavorable shifts in cholesterol and blood pressure, oxidative stress from additives, and poor nutrient profiles. Imagine your arteries as gentle rivers, meant to flow clear. Ultra-processed foods introduce debris, promoting plaque, stiffness, strain on that beautiful heart of yours. Cancer risks rise too. Colorectal, breast, and others show associations in large studies. Not every link is fully causal yet, but the patterns are unmistakable across observational data involving millions. Chronic inflammation, microbiome disruption, and exposure to certain processing byproducts create conditions where cells can stray. This isn't fate. It's a modifiable environment. And the effects reach beyond the physical, into the landscapes of your mind. Depression risk increases by about 20 to 22% with higher intake of UPF. Anxiety by nearly 50% in some analyses. Common mental disorders show strong ties. Why? Because the gut-brain axis, also called your second nervous system, suffers. Emulsifiers and additives can thin the protective mucus layer in your intestines. Beneficial bacteria decline. Inflammatory signals travel upward, clouding mood, focus, and resilience. You might notice it as irritability after days of processed meals, or that low motivation that makes getting through work or connecting with loved ones feel harder. Your gut itself bears the burden. Tooth decay from frequent sugar and acid exposure, irritable bowel symptoms, increased permeability, or leaky gut, allowing particles to provoke immune responses. Studies show emulsifiers, common in ice creams, breads, and sauces, can push bacteria closer to the intestinal wall, sparking inflammation. Short-chain fatty acid production drops without enough fiber, weakening immune regulation. The result? More vulnerability to infections, autoimmune flares, and systemic unease. Immune dysfunction follows. Chronic low-grade inflammation simmers, taxing your defenses. Novel additives, some tested only in isolation or at high doses, raise questions about long-term cumulative effects. We don't yet have all the answers, but the precautionary principle whispers caution. Your body, brilliant as it is, wasn't designed for daily exposure to dozens of synthetic compounds alongside nutrient-poor matrices. Think of indigenous communities, where traditional ways once sustained vibrant health. Diets of wild game, fish, foraged plants, seasonal harvests, rich, varied, alive. Then came the influx of ultra-processed foods through trade, aid, and modern markets. Rates of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease surged dramatically. In First Nations communities, for example, higher UPF intake correlates with poorer diet quality and displacement of nutrient-dense traditional foods. One elder described watching younger generations lose connection, not just to land, but to the physical vitality their ancestors carried. The contrast is heartbreaking and illuminating. The same pattern echoes globally as UPF spreads. You might hear voices saying, "It's just the sugar," or "People just need more exercise." These oversimplifications miss the deeper truth. The Hall trial controlled for sugar, fat, calories, and everything measurable, yet overeating and weight gain still occurred on UPF. It's the matrix, the speed, the additives, the hyperpalatability that bypasses natural breaks. Exercise matters profoundly, but you cannot outrun a diet engineered to override your biology day after day. Real food works differently. A simple meal of beans, greens, and grains nourishes without the hijack. Energy sustains. Cravings quiet. Systems recalibrate. Picture a parent packing lunch for their child, processed snacks, because they're quick and the kid likes them, then watching that same child struggle with focus at school or frequent illnesses. Or the couple whose date nights revolve around takeout, their conversations punctuated by fatigue. Or the professional pushing through deadlines on vending machine fuel, wondering why motivation fades. These are not moral failings. They are predictable responses to an unnatural load. Yet even here, in the heart of the crisis, hope stirs. Your body is forgiving. Studies show that shifting toward minimally processed foods can reverse some markers, such as better blood work, steadier mood, easier weight management. One small change ripples. Swap the morning cereal for oats with nuts and fruit one day. Notice how your energy feels steadier by afternoon. That awareness builds. The UPF health crisis touches billions. In many countries, UPF provides over half the calories, especially for children whose developing bodies and brains are most vulnerable. We see rising multimorbidity or multiple health conditions at once in younger people. Healthcare systems strain. Families carry the emotional weight of chronic illness. The scale is epidemic, and it is largely preventable. You are not powerless. Your choices, even imperfect ones, matter. Every time you choose real food, you vote for a different future for yourself, your loved ones, and the systems that shape our plates. Reconnection is possible. Traditional wisdom and modern science both point toward the same truth. Food closest to its natural state nourishes most deeply. Your body has wisdom. It responds to care. The crisis is real, but so is your capacity to turn toward healing. One mindful meal, one curious question at the store, one gentle experiment with how you feel afterward. These steps accumulate into transformation. Chapter 4: The Corporate Machine and the Myth of Choice. Here, we look at the corporate machine behind ultra-processed food. Picture a young child in the supermarket, eyes wide at the colorful boxes adorned with beloved cartoon characters. Minions grin from a bag of snacks. Superheroes promise fun with every sweetened bite. Industry spends billions crafting these moments. In the US alone, food and beverage companies pour nearly $14 billion annually into advertising, with over 80% promoting fast food, sugary drinks, candy, and unhealthy snacks. Children see multiple fast food ads daily on television. Digital platforms amplify this with influencers, viral challenges, and targeted appeals that feel personal, playful, irresistible. These tactics work. Preferences form early. Habits take root. The pull follows us into adulthood. This isn't accidental marketing. It's strategic engineering of desire. Products are formulated for overconsumption, the bliss point we explored earlier, then wrapped in emotional storytelling. Family time. Treat yourself. You deserve this. Meanwhile, real food cultures erode. Grandmother's recipes of beans, vegetables, and grains, seasoned with love and tradition, give way to ready meals that require no thought, no time, no connection. In communities rich with ancestral knowledge, UPF arrives like a convenient flood, displacing the slow, sensory joy of preparing and sharing meals together. Consider the global reach. In the heart of the Amazon, Nestle once dispatched a floating supermarket, a boat laden with ultra-processed treasures, milk powder, chocolate pudding, cookies, candy. It traveled remote rivers, offering these products at accessible prices to isolated communities. What began as a promise of progress and nutrition delivered a surge in obesity and related ills. Traditional diets of fish, fruits, and foraged foods receded. The boat may have stopped, but the demand it created continues through local boats filling the gap. This story repeats across continents. Globalization carries the same engineered foods into new markets, often hitting hardest where fresh options are scarce or expensive. You feel the inequality in everyday life. In bustling cities, the exhausted parent, after a double shift, grabs the cheapest, fastest option for the kids. Processed, hyper-palatable, affordable in the moment, but costly in health. Wealthier neighborhoods boast farmers' markets and vibrant produce aisles. Food deserts and time poverty shape choices more than any menu of personal responsibility. UPF exacerbates divides. It thrives where real food access falters. The corporate machine profits from this asymmetry while marketing the illusion of equal choice for all. Lobbying and policy influence deepen the current. The ultra-processed food industry has spent vast sums, over $1 billion in the U.S. alone in recent decades, shaping regulations, funding research, and cultivating relationships in government. Tactics echo those once used by tobacco, questioning science, promoting self-regulation, emphasizing individual willpower over environmental design. Clean labels appear, marketing that highlights the removal of one additive, while the overall product remains deeply processed, with long ingredient lists disguised in friendly, natural language. Greenwashing abounds, packaging that whispers sustainability, while the supply chains strain land, water, and communities. Regulatory failures compound this. Many policies lag behind the evidence. Front-of-pack warnings face resistance. Marketing restrictions to children meet fierce pushback. Industry partners with governments on anti-hunger initiatives or exercise campaigns, creating an image of benevolence, while core products drive the problems. In boardrooms and policy rooms, the focus stays on profit margins, refined through cheap commodities, extended shelf life, and relentless demand creation. You see it in the supermarket layout, eye-level placement of colorful packages, checkout temptations, end cap displays engineered to trigger impulse. Psychological and social threads keep the web tight. Convenience in a rushed world. Advertising that associates products with joy, belonging, relief from stress. Food environments where healthy options require more effort, planning, and money. After a demanding workday, when the kids are hungry and homework looms, the packaged meal feels like mercy. In relationships, shared rituals of ordering takeout can bond, even as they subtly disconnect us from cooking together. A friend once described how her family's weekly pizza night evolved from homemade attempts to habitual delivery. The ease won out, until health signals and growing awareness prompted a gentle return to the kitchen. messy, slower, but richer in laughter and presence. The myth of pure choice crumbles under scrutiny. Your biology pulls one way. Aggressive design and environment pull another. Advertising whispers constantly. Economic realities constrain. Yet, the industry often frames struggles as personal weakness. Just eat less. Move more. Choose better. This overlooks the sophisticated arms race of product development, the billions spent understanding exactly how to bypass your natural brakes. A system this powerful, shaping what billions eat daily, deserves examination. The next time you encounter an ad, on your phone, at the store, on a screen, notice it. Ask softly, what emotion is this stirring? What promise is being made? How does my body feel in response? This small act of witnessing creates distance. It weakens the automatic pull. Over time, you reclaim space between stimulus and response. Awareness is the first, most radical step. When you see the machine clearly, the marketing, the lobbying, the displacement of cultures, the engineered craving, you stop internalizing blame. You begin choosing from a place of empowerment, not guilt. Small shifts become possible, such as supporting local producers when you can, cooking one more meal from scratch, with simple ingredients that taste vividly of earth and sun, teaching children the pleasure of real food through shared preparation. These acts ripple. You are not alone in this. Communities worldwide are waking up. Policies are slowly shifting toward better labeling, marketing protections, and food system reforms. Your informed voice, your daily choices, contribute to that momentum. The corporate machine is formidable, but your awakened consciousness is more enduring. You possess the capacity to navigate it with wisdom, to honor your body's deep intelligence, to reclaim food as nourishment, connection, and quiet rebellion against systems that profit from confusion. Chapter 5: Beyond the Individual, Society, Environment, and the Future. Here, we widen the lens. We step back to see the larger web, how ultra-processed food touches not only your health, but the soil beneath our feet, the air we share, the cultures that bind us, and the future we are handing to our children. Imagine vast fields stretching to the horizon, with endless rows of the same crops: corn, wheat, soy, palm. Monocultures, they call them. These are the backbone of ultra-processed food production. A handful of high-yielding plants supply the starches, sugars, oils, and proteins that factories transform into countless products. This narrow focus drives biodiversity loss on a staggering scale. Diverse ecosystems, those rich with insects, birds, microbes, and varied plants, give way to simplified landscapes vulnerable to pests, disease, and climate shifts. Studies show UPF-rich diets contribute significantly to land use pressures, greenhouse gas emissions, and the erosion of nature's intricate balance. The environmental toll runs deeper still. Intensive farming for these commodities demands heavy inputs: fertilizers, pesticides, water. Runoff creates dead zones in rivers and oceans through eutrophication. Packaging, those bright plastics, foils, and boxes that promise convenience, accumulates. Much of it never fully degrades, lingering in landfills, oceans, and soil, harming marine life and contaminating the very systems that sustain us. Processing itself adds energy demands: extrusion, hydrogenation, refrigeration, long-distance transport. One analysis links UPF production and packaging to major shares of diet-related environmental burdens, up to 36 to 45% of certain biodiversity impacts in some assessments. The food on your fork, or in that neatly sealed tray, carries echoes of distant forests cleared for palm oil, soils depleted, and emissions warming our shared atmosphere. Contrast this with traditional food systems. Diverse smallholder farms growing varied crops in harmony with local ecosystems. Rotational planting, intercropping, respect for seasons. These ways of eating nourished communities for generations while stewarding the land. Now, as UPF spreads globally, it displaces these patterns. Traditional diets rich in whole foods, such as fish from clean waters, vegetables from home gardens, grains prepared with ancestral knowledge, fade under the pressure of cheap, heavily marketed industrial alternatives. Cultural identity phrase. Meals that once gathered families in shared preparation and storytelling become solitary encounters with screens and wrappers. In indigenous and immigrant communities alike, the shift correlates with poorer health outcomes and a quiet grief for lost connections to heritage and place. You see the human face of these disparities every day. In bustling urban neighborhoods, where fresh produce is expensive or hard to reach, families rely on affordable packaged options. In low and middle-income countries, globalization delivers the same ultra-processed temptations, often through aggressive marketing. Poverty and time scarcity make the convenient choice feel like the only one. Global health gaps widen. The very populations already facing systemic challenges bear disproportionate burdens of obesity, diabetes, and environmental degradation. Meanwhile, the profits flow upward, concentrated in powerful corporations. This isn't mere coincidence. It's the architecture of a system prioritizing extraction and efficiency over equity and regeneration. Personal responsibility narratives, while well-intentioned, fall short here. Telling someone to just eat better ignores the engineered pull of products, the food environments that surround us, the economic realities, and the massive marketing machinery. It's like asking a single leaf to change the direction of the wind. We need systemic change, policies that level the playing field, support for farmers growing real food, restrictions on marketing to children, true cost accounting that reflects environmental and health impacts, and investments in community food systems. Parallels with the tobacco industry come to mind. Decades of denial, influence on science and policy, framing addiction as personal choice, until public awareness and regulation shifted the tide. The food industry operates with similar sophistication, yet the stakes encompass our entire living planet. Climate change accelerates. Biodiversity collapses. Health systems strain under diet-related disease. Yet, within this reckoning lies profound opportunity. Imagine a healthier food system, one where minimally processed, diverse foods take center stage, where farmers are supported to grow a rich tapestry of crops, restoring soil and habitats, where local and regional supply chains shorten distances and strengthen communities, where policy rewards nutrient density and environmental stewardship rather than sheer volume and shelf life. Supermarkets could feature vibrant produce displays prominently, with cooking education woven into schools and workplaces. Kitchens hum again with the sounds of chopping, simmering, sharing. Children grow up knowing the taste of a sun-warmed tomato, the satisfaction of a simple, flavorful meal prepared together. Picture it sensorially. The earthy aroma of roasting root vegetables, the vibrant crunch of fresh greens, the deep satisfaction that lingers without the restless craving. Energy flows steadily. Communities reconnect over pots of stew or shared gardens. Economies become more resilient, less dependent on fragile global monoculture chains. Cultural identities flourish as traditional recipes evolve with respect for both heritage and modern needs. This future isn't a utopian fantasy. Elements of it exist already. In farmers' markets thriving against the odds, in policy experiments around the world, in growing consumer demand for transparency and regeneration. You play a vital role in this larger story. Your awareness ripples. When you choose real food more often, you support systems that heal rather than harm. When you speak up in conversations with family, at school boards, through voting and community involvement, you help shift the currents. Small, consistent actions compound. Teach a child the joy of growing herbs on a windowsill. Share a simple recipe with a neighbor. Notice and appreciate the quiet power of these steps. Your body, your choices, your voice matter in the grand tapestry. The future is not fixed. It is being written now, in fields and kitchens, in policies and conversations, in every mindful bite. You are part of its authorship. Together, we can steer toward abundance that is truly sustainable, rich in flavor, connection, vitality, and respect for the living world that sustains us all. Chapter 6: Reclaiming Real Food: Practical Paths Forward. Here, we turn toward light, toward possibility. Reclaiming real food isn't a distant dream or a rigid prescription. It's a gentle homecoming, a series of small, kind choices that reconnect you to your body, your table, your community, and the living world. You don't need perfection. You only need presence and a willingness to experiment. The path forward is practical, hopeful, and profoundly yours. Let's begin where you stand, in your kitchen, your shopping cart, your daily rhythm. First, learn to see clearly. The NOVA classification offers a simple, empowering map. Group 1: Unprocessed or minimally processed foods, such as fresh fruits that burst with juice, vegetables pulled from soil, whole grains, eggs, fresh meats, or fish. Group 2: Processed culinary ingredients like oils, butter, sugar, salt, used in home cooking. Group 3: Processed foods like canned beans or cheeses with simple additions. Group 4: Ultra-processed, the long ingredient lists, the unfamiliar additives, the products engineered for endless appeal. When you scan a label, ask yourself, would my grandmother recognize these ingredients? Could I make something like this in my own kitchen? This single question cuts through marketing fog with surprising clarity. This way, shopping becomes an act of quiet power. Fill the outer aisles of the supermarket first, the produce section alive with color and scent, the butcher counter, the dairy with fewer additives. Choose foods with short, recognizable lists. Buy in season when possible. The flavors sing brighter. A ripe peach in summer carries sunshine on your tongue. Winter roots roasted with herbs fill the kitchen with earthy warmth that comforts deeply. Start small. Replace one ultra-processed staple this week. That morning cereal? Try overnight oats with nuts, berries, and a touch of cinnamon. The texture satisfies differently, chewy, varied, grounding. Cooking need not be elaborate. Think of it as reconnection rather than performance. A simple stir-fry of vegetables, garlic, ginger, and a protein you enjoy. The sizzle in the pan, the fragrant steam rising. These sensory gifts slow you down and awaken pleasure. Batch cooking on quieter days creates anchors for busy ones. Soups simmered with lentils, carrots, and spices taste even better the next day. One-pot meals become family rituals, not chores. You'll notice the difference in how you feel afterward. Steady energy instead of the familiar crash. A gentle fullness that doesn't demand constant snacking. Cravings will come. They are normal, human, and understandable after years of engineered signals. Meet them with curiosity instead of judgment. When the pull for something sweet or crunchy arises, pause. Ask, what am I truly seeking? Energy, comfort, or distraction? Sometimes, a handful of roasted nuts or a piece of dark chocolate with fruit answers more completely. Hydrate. Move your body gently. The craving often softens. Over time, as you eat more real food, taste buds recalibrate. The intense sweetness of processed items starts tasting overly cloying. A fresh strawberry reveals layers of complexity you might have missed before. In families and relationships, this shift becomes shared adventure. Involve children in the kitchen for simple chores like washing vegetables, stirring sauces, tasting as you go. They learn through their hands and senses. One parent I know turned pizza night into a ritual of homemade dough with whatever toppings the kids chose from fresh ingredients. Laughter increased. Picky eating softened. In partnerships, cooking together can reignite connection. The chopping side by side, the conversation over simmering pots, the shared satisfaction of a meal made with care. It's not always smooth. There will be evenings when convenience wins. That's okay. Progress isn't linear. It's compassionate. Your workplace offers opportunities too. Pack lunches that nourish through afternoon meetings. A container of chopped vegetables, hummus made from chickpeas, a boiled egg, and fruit. The energy you bring to tasks feels different, clearer, more sustained. When colleagues reach for vending machine options, your quiet example plants seeds without a word. Science supports these shifts beautifully. As you move away from ultra-processed dominance, markers improve, better blood sugar control, reduced inflammation, steadier mood. The same biology that was hacked begins to heal when given foods in their more natural matrix. Fiber slows digestion. Nutrients arrive with companions that enhance absorption. Your microbiome diversifies with varied plant foods. The rewards are measurable, but often the most profound ones are felt. That quiet vitality, the return of genuine hunger and satisfaction, the sense of agency. However, individual action, while powerful, meets limits in a system built for the other direction. This is where hope expands through community and policy. Imagine neighborhoods reviving farmers' markets, school gardens teaching children where food comes from, community kitchens sharing skills and meals. These already exist in pockets around the world, bright examples of reconnection. In Brazil, movements around the Nova framework have influenced national dietary guidelines emphasizing whole foods. Cities experiment with better food procurement for schools and hospitals. These stories remind us that change scales when people gather. Policy recommendations point toward fairness and foresight. Clear front-of-pack labeling that helps you identify ultra-processed products at a glance. Restrictions on marketing to children, much like we've done with other harmful substances. Subsidies redirected toward fruits, vegetables, and sustainable farming, instead of primarily commodity crops for processing. Greater industry accountability, such as transparency in formulation, limits on certain additives pending fuller safety data. True cost pricing that reflects environmental and health impacts. These aren't radical dreams. They are practical steps toward a food environment that supports, rather than undermines, health. Consider the inspiring contrast. Traditional food cultures that have endured for centuries emphasize variety, seasonality, shared preparation. The Mediterranean way with olive oil, vegetables, legumes, and fish. The vibrant plates of many Asian traditions built around rice, greens, fermented foods. These patterns sustained health long before modern science quantified why. We can honor and adapt them to our lives, blending ancestral wisdom with modern convenience where it truly serves. There will be moments of doubt, when time feels scarce or budgets tight. In those times, remember, progress over perfection. A frozen bag of vegetables stirred into a simple sauce beats the ultra-processed alternative. An apple with nut butter satisfies more than a flavored bar. Celebrate the wins, however modest. Track how you feel after a week of more real food. The clearer skin, the better sleep, the lighter emotional load. These become your personal evidence. You carry tremendous power. Your body knows the way home. Your awareness lights the path. Every mindful bite, every shared meal, every conversation about these truths weaves a new story. The corporate machine is strong, but so is human resilience, creativity, and love for what truly nourishes. The same ingenuity that created ultra-processed food can redirect toward regeneration. You are already reclaiming. The craving's quiet. Vitality returns. Connection deepens. Real food, vibrant, alive, honest, waits on your plate and in your future. You are capable. You are worthy. The transformation is underway, one conscious, compassionate step at a time. Carry this hope forward into your days. Share it gently with others. The world needs your awakened presence at the table, and the table, in turn, will nourish you more richly than you can yet imagine. Thank you for listening with such openness. The journey doesn't end here. It lives in your days ahead, in every conscious bite, every shared meal, every step toward a nourished world. You can stop. We all can. And in doing so, we begin something beautiful, lasting, and profoundly human.